dude, how high are you? Like, where are you? Like, you are, like, how tall is your freaking computer? Like, where are you? Oh! Oh my God. Oh my God. That is, okay. Oh my God.
It's not like I'm sat here going, I'm a monster.
What the hell is going on? How is this? Where the hell is this, dude?
There's a new street fighter on your windowsill. The weapon is peace. The word is.
Hello there, gang, and welcome to another episode of Displaying Model Behaviour, the Earth's mightiest pop culture video podcast. So take off your pants, crack a beer, and let's talk our 5 favourite things. Yep, I'm kind of changing up the intro. Mainly it's a pop culture video podcast because I want to start covering all the different things that spark joy in my life. This will always be an action figure channel first and foremost, because as Gorilla Monsoon used to say, you gotta dance with who brung ya. But I love pro wrestling, I love comic books, I love video games, I love movies, and I want to talk about all of them. So this channel, where we're going, we don't need roads. But I need a lot of time to do some editing because I'm going to be covering a whole bunch of stuff and I'm so excited to do it. And to kick things off, I'm going to start a new show. This might be a monthly endeavor maybe, where I sit down with one of the people who I'm a fan of and they tell me about their current 5 favorite things. This is something I've been wanting to do for a long time. I love the good vibes, I love the positive energy of this channel, and I love talking about the things that spark joy in our hearts. And my first guest today, he took the ball and ran with it, and I'm so grateful. I thought we were just going to be talking about whatever your current favorite movie is, or whatever the most recent action figure is that you got excited about, but no, we spoke about life and loves and families and all the things that are really, really important to us. So what a wonderful way to start this new show. So guys, sit back, relax, pour yourself some eggnog, make that turkey sandwich with the leftovers, and enjoy the first episode of Favorite Things, where I sit down with my now good, close, personal, long-time friend, Shartimus Prime. Folks, enjoy.
So folks, for the first episode of this new series, I've got a very special guest on, someone who I'm a very big fan of, and I'm sure you are too. You're all familiar with him, the one and only, the incomparable Shartimus Prime. Shartimus Prime, welcome to Model Behaviour.
Thanks so much for having me, man. Thank you so much for having me, Dave. Glad to be here.
Absolute pleasure, dude. I'm so glad that we could finally, we have our own little multiverse crossover now. 'Tis the season for multiverse crossovers.
The season for crossovers.
A lot of people, a lot of people have been saying, Dave, when are you going to get Shartimus Prime on your show? And I was like, give it time. I just got to drag him down to my level. Well, it's finally happened.
The channel's I've lost all the subscribers and I've lost a ton. Oh man, it's
just remember, you meet the same people on your way up as you do on your way down. So I look forward to seeing you again sometime.
All right, on the bounce back. Nice,
dude. This is a video, this is a project that I wanted to do, talking to familiar faces about the things that are currently rocking their world. Because we all love action figures, that's great, that's what we talk about, that's our bread and butter. But there's also so much other stuff as well. So whether it's action figures, movies, music, books, video games, I want to hear about the things that are currently rocking the world of Shartimus Prime. So you've got a few things to share with me. Dude, as I always say, let's not stand on ceremony, Mr. Wayne. What have you got for me? What's up first?
So we're starting all the way at the very top of the list, or we're going to start at the bottom and work our way up?
Also, have you ranked these? Because this format is evolving.
No ranking? Oh, that helps. That makes things a lot easier because like my top 2 are at the same level.
Okay, dude, I love that. You're putting new wrinkles in this as we go, and I'm here for it. So not only have we got a list, we've got a ranking, because, dude, everyone loves a good ranking. I know I do. So, yeah, go from least hype to most hype. What are we talking about? How are we going to kick things off?
Okay, so All right, I would say probably at the bottom of the list is somewhere. I would say maybe going to movies, like going to the movie theater. Like
Okay.
I love all 5 of these things that we're talking about. So it's not like I don't like going to the movies. I love going to the movies. I love
this is the thing that you love, but there are other things you love more, is what we're saying.
Yeah. Exactly. There's things I love more. And but going to the movie theater, feeling the energy, I feel like that's kind of dissipated over the years. When I was a kid, and I remember, or even a teenager, watching Star Wars special editions come out. The energy in San Francisco was nuts. Like, people were cosplaying, and I think that was like the first time I saw so many cosplayers, people waiting in line. My dad, he's into Star Wars, so he's like, okay, we're gonna wait for a couple hours outside the movie theater. So I'm like, what, a couple hours? Like, yeah, no, don't worry, I'll buy you guys food, we'll hang out. And it was a lot of fun. It was cool talking to strangers and stuff. Of course, with my dad around, it wasn't like I was just meandering around.
Not just talking to random strangers on your own.
Yeah, no, it was like my dad was involved in the conversations, you know, I was mostly there, but I liked seeing the camaraderie for the geekdom and everything. And I still feel that a bit going to the movie theaters now. And yeah, so going to the movies, and a lot of this list has come from my COVID experience,
Right.
the pandemic experience, because like when you have the things taken away, that's when you really know what you missed the most and what you really, really valued while you had it. And I gotta say, for all the things I did value them before and after, during and after COVID, or even if we're still in it. But yeah, these things I cherished before, still cherish now. So number 5, I'm giving it to going to the movies.
That's an awesome choice. And yeah, dude, once they take away the chance to go to the movies, oh my goodness, when we got back in there, I embraced it on like a whole new level. And before, it was something you kind of take for granted. I can't remember what the first movie was that I saw back in the cinema. I think it was Black Widow, actually. And
cool.
I tell you what, normally I'm a pretty thrifty son of a gun, but this time I bought the giant popcorn, I got the super slushy, I got the nachos. I wanted the full movie experience. And
awesome.
I was so pleased to be back. So yeah, the whole hoopla around movies, especially episode 1, like you're talking about as well. I played hooky off school to go and see that, and actually my teacher actually cornered me when I got back, and he knew exactly where I'd been, and he was like, so Mr. Gillum, was it worth it? And I was like, honestly, yeah, sir. Do what you will.
No regrets.
Yeah, that was a good time. So dude, that's a great choice, man. Going to the cinema in general, wonderful. All right, so and that's the least hype one. We got even better ones to go. What do you got next, bro?
Yeah, number 4 is it's kind of a tough one, because okay, so when I go to comic conventions, I feel like it's like 2 completely different experiences in one. There's
right.
It's like there's like the personal life version, and then there's kind of like my more public life version, where like most of the time I go there, it's a very Shartimus centric. I'm running into a lot of people. I'm running around getting video coverage, and I have my interviews, and all that stuff is a lot of fun. And then meeting people and everything. That's like that's an amazing experience every time, especially getting to talk to somebody that's been watching for a long time and has wanted to meet me for a long time, and finally sees the opportunity. But I met somebody in Utah, and this guy had driven from Montana. I think I'm trying to remember his first name off the top of my head, but I'm going to embarrass myself and not get it right. But I'm just going to say Matt as a.
We'll go with Matt. We'll go with Matt. Yeah.
Yeah, from Montana. The dude from Montana that made it down to Salt Lake, And yeah, so, and it was cool just hearing him like reference a bunch of videos and sketches and different stop motions and stuff like over the years. I'm like, oh man, dude, you've been watching a long time.
You're an
Thank
OG.
you. Like, it's so, yeah, so I love those experiences, and that's something that's just it just really means a lot to me. It's one thing that I have sorely missed throughout this pandemic. It actually really affects me a lot on a personal level. You'd think I don't care or whatever because it's all on the internet, but I have always been, and when I mean always, like since the beginning of this channel or my channel, I've been interactive with people. My mentality has always been, these videos isn't the end. Like I want to hang out. I want to go meet you guys in person. You know what I mean? I'd love to have a beer with you, Dave. Like
dude, one of these days, man. One of these days.
These are things I think about, and I would love to partake in. So, not having the interpersonal, communal experience with people that are part of the collecting community, it's something that I've always cherished, and I really, really miss it a lot. Like, I still haven't really done any public appearances or anything like that, and yeah, so I just miss it, and that's like one of my favorite things is going out to the conventions and stuff and having those experiences.
Yeah, and it's coming back, man. That's the great thing to see. I went to my first London Comic-Con a couple of months ago, and it was like we hadn't skipped a beat, actually. Nice. I mean, as far as things are happening in the country, England's going back a little bit, but it's okay. It's baby steps getting to where we need to go to be back to normal. But for that brief moment being in Comic-Con, it was Comic-Con. It was all the people, it was all the stalls, it was all the stands. It felt like home again, you know?
Yeah.
And man,
I don't know, but I don't know yet, but I hopefully soon I know the feeling.
Absolutely. And again, actually, speaking of like knowing the feeling, that's a feeling I want to know. Is one of my bucket list items is to be specifically invited to a con. I don't care if it's like Chicago or San Diego Comic-Con, or if it's Grimsby Northwest Church Hall Fate Con. I want to get someone to be like, Dave, we want you at our con. I'll be like, boom.
Oh man, I would. Yeah, that is an incredible honor. Yeah, you would. Yeah, to get invited and everything. That's an incredible honor to have being invited like that, man.
Yeah. That's it. Scratching and clawing, baby. I'm gonna mark that off the bucket list one of these days.
Yeah.
But
it's a tougher one. It's a tough one because, and then the organization and everything, making it all happen. Getting those events organized is not as easy as people would think. You know what I mean? You think you just get a phone call like, "Hey, is Tuesday, February 13th cool for you?" Yeah, sure, cool. See you then. It's nothing like that. There's a lot of organizing going on. So
yeah, dude. I mean, we've been going around and around in rings trying to get a Zoom meeting.
Yeah, just me getting on a Zoom.
Schedules.
Yeah.
Let alone a Comic-Con. So yeah, there's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of moving parts that go into that. But yeah, dude, number 4 on the old list there, the return of conventions. That's a biggie.
Yeah. Now number 3 is the same thing. Number 3 is, I'm gonna say the same thing, but like, just like, I miss my wife and I being able to walk up and down Artist Alley and just observe and just take in all the art, not worry about any panels or interviews or any obligations, and just taking our time and just, oh, look at that, oh, hey, look at that, oh my god, and just enjoying art. My wife and I are both very artistic minded people. Like, we really we're enthusiasts, and I consider myself an artist because I'm a musician.
Yeah.
And my wife has a very artistic eye. Like, I feel like if she really dedicated herself, she would be an amazing photographer. and or painter if she really got into it. So we just appreciate the hell out of the arts, and that I miss greatly. That's like one thing I absolutely love doing, and I miss doing that. And we do that with our friends too. So like close friends of ours will go, you know, with us on that. But like every Sunday at a Comic-Con, it's like I dedicate that day to us just not worrying about this and that. I may have like interviews lined up at the end of the day on Sunday, actually, now I think back on it. But it's like for the majority of the day, it's like really dedicated to just enjoying like that quality time and stuff and having fun doing that. I really miss that a lot.
Yeah, and that's kind of beautiful. I will definitely allow that for a second entry.
It's like
you've got two completely different Comic-Con experiences, as you were saying. You got your professional side and then the personal side of it as well, and having someone that you can enjoy that with as well, having a partner who's into that and can appreciate all the things that, you know, you can go, oh, look at that, and they'll actually be into it, as opposed to being like, well, that's nice, honey, that's lovely, I'm glad you like that.
Yeah.
That's great.
And she has the things that she likes more in a little bit, or we even picked up some prints to plan to put in the girls' bedroom and stuff, like, and she set up this whole array of different prints and everything that we have on our living room wall. No action figures allowed in the house, by the way.
Is that right? Is that, I'm getting a behind the scenes glimpse here, so there's no action figures in the house.
Yeah, no action figures in the house. I have the garage and I have the dork room, and that's enough space. But she's cool with the prints, and I said, well, hey, if you're down to put geeky prints up, and the trade-off is you organize them the way you want, I'm fine with that. So we have this big wall where we have the different prints, and she does a fantastic job organizing them, and it's beautiful. So it's definitely like a joint thing that we do. And it's not a one-sided, like, it's not like a wall full of Spider-Mans or something, like, you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, it's all different stuff. It's really cool.
Well, the fact that you've managed to get the garage, the dork room, and you've got the prints up as well. I think when I move in with my girlfriend, I'm gonna have to get you to come in and negotiate for me.
Yeah,
you've got a pretty good deal there. I like that.
Yeah, I can't complain, man. Even though, you know, I will say I wish there was just DTOFs everywhere. I would love to have that, but you know, with kids and me being clumsy, better that they're not all over the place.
yeah. It's amazing that we can spend years and years collecting action figures and posing them, yet the level of clumsiness never seems to decrease. Like I was born with a base level of clumsy, and that's just what it is.
While we're speaking about clumsiness, and this is something, can I ask you a question? Because this is something that's been on my mind for a very long time. Dude, how high are you? Like, you are like way up there. Like you are a head above the DTOFs. Like, where are you? Like, you are, like, how tall is your freaking computer? Like, where are you?
Dude, I tell you what, I get that question all the time. It's so funny because it is such a trip seeing
yeah.
But it's all lies. It's an optical illusion. These DTOFs are only three.
Oh my god! Oh my god! That is okay. So they're short DTOFs. My god!
It's not like I'm sat here going, "I'm a monster."
What the hell is going on? How is this? Where the hell is this dude? Is he getting on stairs to get to his computer? Like, what is going on over there? Oh my god!
Dude, that's funny, man. I've
been wondering.
I think like people worry that like maybe I'm very short and I'm like trying to make up for that by jacking myself up really high in the chair or something to make up for it. Kind of a Lord Farquaad kind of thing going on here. But no, they're just
it's just 3 foot. I didn't know they made him that size, so that's another thing. I just didn't see that coming. That is so funny. All right, That's great.
I'm glad you asked that, because people ask me that all the time.
My brain has to like really like recalibrate to the situation I'm looking at over here. Okay, it makes sense.
No, this entire room that I'm in is a complete trip, because I live in like an old cottage in England, and this is a converted attic, so the roof is all slanted. It's all a slope, so like this is the
I figured that part.
It's so weird. It's like an Alice in Wonderland kind of thing. Totally impractical for an action figure collection or to film anything in, but I've managed to do it regardless.
Yeah, very cool, very unique. I like that. Nobody else has that backdrop, so that's cool.
Yeah. Well, I figured like there are so many people who have such a professional looking setup, and I thought I'm never gonna be able to do that. So let's lean into being a dude in his bedroom. And that's kind of worked out all right, you know?
yeah, not bad at all, not bad.
All right, man. So we've got 3 awesome things that we're kind of rocking our world right now. But you were saying the last 2 are both kind of on a par with each other.
And another thing with that number 3, I guess, is also live shows, because like going to live shows and stuff, that's like, I guess I'll just add another one.
I will allow it.
Thank you. Yeah, I know I'm like messing with your list, but like, going to live shows has been like, I love going to live shows. There's nothing like going to concerts.
Yeah,
I love going to shows, and I've gone to a few, but they've been very sparse. And yeah, so I think since the pandemic, I just saw Alkaline Trio and Bad Religion, and then I went to the Green Day concert that had Weezer and Fall Out Boy, and then
that sounds fantastic.
Oh, that was an awesome show. Interrupters were there, but we missed them. We caught Weezer though, and then I played one venue with a punk band, the Mangs. We're called the Mangs. We played one show, and but aside from that, I don't think I've seen any other. I may have. Oh, we saw the Tommy Igoe jazz group. I also love jazz music, so they're Tommy Igoe big band. I saw them at Yoshi's. That was, I actually think that was the first show I saw through the pandemic, was the Tommy Igoe big band. So that was amazing to see. And then so 3 concerts. Missed the concerts big time. But yeah, my 1 and 2 are tied with I mean, it's like family is family is number 1, and that's like that's really the number 1 thing. But music, and it sounds callous, I guess, to say music is up there too for me, and it's only up there.
I can get on board with where we're going. I'm hearing you.
Music has saved my soul, like in so many ways, and it's the one thing that I know for a fact that will never leave me. Like, I know it'll never happen, but let's just like pretend I committed some heinous crime, like slaughtered a bunch of younglings like Anakin Skywalker, right?
You can be redeemed for that.
Say that again?
You can be redeemed for that. Yeah,
I guess so. But let's say let's say I'm not. You know, my parents don't talk to me. My wife, my brother, like nobody talks to me, and I'm alone. Like I will still have music. I will still be able to play music. I will still have drums. I will still find a way for music to get me through that. No matter how tough things get, music will always be there. But as tough as things could possibly get, like my family will always be there too. You know what I mean? Because I'm not gonna slaughter a bunch of younglings or do anything like that. So that's it's all up there. But those were the 2 that that I really missed the most during the pandemic. Was being able to perform and being able to see my family. I hadn't been able to see my grandmother. Didn't have my parents over, like especially because we had it during the height of it, and it was really, really scary, and we were just like isolated and nobody around to help with anything, and it was just long. I mean, we had luckily we did have some neighbors and family drop off food for us. That was cool as hell. But the thing is yeah, and then not being able to perform, not being able to play music, that tore me up from the inside out big time. Because my personal, like like if my wife, my kids are happy, that's a gauge for my general wellness. Like if I have a happy wife and happy kids, then things are going okay. If I'm improving, but for myself, if I'm improving on music and I'm playing a lot of music, that's how I know I'm doing okay. And during the pandemic, I was not okay. I was really not okay. I had a tough time. And I know there's other people that had things much worse. I know there's all kinds of situations, and I'm not even getting close to daring to make a contest out of it. I'm just saying that for my personal wellness, I was not well. It really tore me up. I wasn't playing with my friends. I wasn't performing. I had like 3 rehearsals like throughout the whole year. Dude, I spend at least 8 hours a week playing music pre-pandemic, at least. And not having that, it's just gone. And then I'm like, what am I going to even practice? Because my practice is all about what the next show is. Like someone asks me, like, what songs are you listening to? Whatever I'm playing next, that's what I'm trying to work on. I'm constantly trying to practice and make myself better. Without having a gig to play, it's almost like, well, I got to practice to keep my chops up, but it's like chops is just chops.
Yeah,
like I need to play a show. Like I got to prep for a show. Yeah, it's what I'm doing it all for. So it was just really, really, really tough. And luckily, this piano player from this jazz band I play in, he was writing songs and he would send me files and I would record my drums to it, and that helped a lot. That helped keep me sane. But it was not like, especially because I love the spur of the moment improvisation and everything that you get from playing jazz music.
Yeah,
like none of it didn't get that, so it was really frustrating. But since May this year, I've been playing once a week out in Burlingame, this place called Burlingame, and we're calling it Apple Jazz because we play outside across the street from the Apple store for tips. And it's a pretty well off area, so the tips are good. And it's just do that about like 3 to 4 hours every Sunday, and it has it's been so refreshing.
I bet. I mean, something like that. It's a life changer. Because it's part of your identity. It's who you are. It's what you do. And honestly, man, I'm so glad that you kind of pointed out, or you said that, like, you feel kind of bad about saying, "Oh, I've had a hard time," because everyone has a hard time. But dude, we all do, and it's all subjective. And oh my goodness, like, I think some of the hardest times are the ones that we give ourselves, going, "Oh, I should count my blessings because it's not that bad." No, but it is, because you experience it yourself. And like I spent the last 2 years going, well, you know what? I got my health, I got a roof over my head, like I'm okay. But that doesn't mean that you're not allowed to be miserable, because oh my damn is what I'm saying. I've been about as low as you can go sometimes when you're throughout this time. Then that's when you need to take some stock and say, you know what? I'm allowed to feel this way. We're all dealing with it. And now we're all coming out of it, and we're getting back to the things that we love to do, like the music. That's so great to hear that you're performing again and you're getting that part of your identity back. That's fantastic, man.
Yeah, dude. Oh, but on top of it, I actually broke my hand on my birthday last year. So I'm in the ER on my birthday, and throughout the several months after that, I couldn't hold a drumstick with my right hand. I was all like, no right hand to drum with, and I'm right-handed. So
we were talking about the base levels of clumsiness. That's what happens sometimes.
Yeah.
You end up with a broken hand.
Really bad. Yeah. So that on top of it gave me like a new low, and I know there's, like you're saying, other people have it worse, but that was my personal struggle. That was my personal thing that I was going through, and not having the music, not having family, not being able to see my parents, man, that crushed me. God, that was so hard. Having to do the FaceTime stuff all the time.
Yeah.
Not being able to just hang out with my brother. My brother and I are very close. We hang out all the time. My cousins and I are close. My cousins and I would do these big Zoom conferences, and we're so stoked to do that. But like at the same time, we're just like hella bummed out that we couldn't see each other in person. My kids weren't recognizing my cousins on the Zoom calls. I was like, oh my God. You know what I mean? They're very young, but still, it's like,
yeah.
Like
and
that.
now we can start to rebuild these links and get everything back and see it all coming back around. It's an insane thing that we've been living through, and now we're coming out the other side. And just like we were saying, with something as basic as movie theaters, you appreciate everything so much more, man. We really, really do. It makes the world a difference.
Right. Now, I feel bad because I haven't mentioned any action figures on my list. It's like, it makes me look like a big fat phony, but I love action figures.
Yeah, you fake action figure collector. We're on.
Yeah, like I'm a big. It's not even
doing this
cups.
for the money, aren't you? You're not really into action figures.
It's like, no, I have my action figures, and my collecting is way up there. It's just when well, it's kind of like, you know, that I prefer connecting with people than being all by myself, but I do like being all by myself at the same time too. But it's just like I just feel like the stuff that's closer to interconnection with others just ranks higher up on my personal list, you know?
Absolutely.
Like I'd rather collect people in my life than action figures, right? Like I'd rather have a larger group of people in my personal world than action. I don't know. That's just
No, I totally hear that. I've been having some sort of revelations myself, like recently, where I've been looking at the things I've been collecting, the way that I've been, you know, you'll desire something, you want it, you get it, but then I find that no matter how big my collection gets, or whether I get that new Mezco figure I've been desperately after, like my base level of happiness is always going to be right around here. And action figures aren't going to affect that too much. It's a part of my identity. It's a hobby that I love. But, you know, I could finally get that damn multiple man and finish making X Factor. But it's still good. My happiness is still going to be here. Whereas it's the things you do, the people, the life, everything that you conjure up around. Action figures are lovely kind of garnish on the meal. But that's
right. I couldn't have said it better. Exactly. Because you have to have those core things first to really be happy. And I couldn't have said it better. It's a garnish. And I'm grateful to have all the collecting and stuff too. Just don't want to come off like I'm not grateful to be able to collect and everything and be in the position to do it.
I tell you what though, man, this interview has been way more than I was expecting, because we've actually spoken about some real great like life things. I was expecting this show to be way more frivolous. I think like, there's this film that's really cool, and there's this action figure that I like, but in fact, it's about things that genuinely matter. This is much more high level than that show is normally.
I'm not going to BS you, man. Go straight, come from the heart, man. I gotta put it out there, and that's the stuff that really makes me, feel happy, and that's the stuff that I connect with the most, and everything that makes me feel that relates to my identity. Like how you were saying earlier, like when you lose the stuff that helps, that forms your identity, when you lose that, it hurts. It messes with you. So it's like the action figure stuff never left during the pandemic. Obviously, like, for whatever reason, production of figures just kept on going as normal, right? Like,
thank God.
Collecting has definitely helped in a lot of ways, and it can. I mean, I'll tell you this: there has been days where like a figure could cheer you up a little bit if you're having a bad day. That's for sure. Like if you get a really cool figure, it's not going to fix your problems, but it'll kind of numb whatever you're going through for a little bit, right?
Oh yeah, you can ride that little dopamine wave, absolutely.
Yeah, just a little bit. If it's taking too much, then that's getting weird, right? It's like, dude, you got responsibilities, and here you are stuck with your Optimus Prime. Like, come on, like, you can't let it take over. But yeah,
that's it. It's all about finding the level, finding the balance, and dude, I think you've done a fantastic job with that. And one of the things I've loved so much about kind of getting into this YouTubing toy community is the response of people in the atmosphere. And I'm a very solo kind of person. I kind of keep to myself and do my own thing. But you were actually one of the first people who is like a person that I am familiar with. Like, I don't want to kind of embarrass you by saying like, a big deal. But you were someone who was like, oh shoot, Shartimus Prime is messaging this guy? What?
Oh, right.
And then actually, the fact that you're a cool dude. And I'm like, oh man, this is a good thing to be a part of, and that's been really great.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I mean, we're all collectors into this thing, and it's like, yeah, there's different types of collecting and all that, but it's all about like the interpersonal relationships and everything like that. And subscriber count is awesome to have, but again, people are cooler. Like it's like the numbers look neat and everything, but it's cooler to have people. So there's no need to kind of try to separate myself from people in any kind of way just because some numbers on a screen, you know what I mean? Even though it takes a lot of work to get those numbers aren't easy to come by, and I am grateful for those subscribers. Not trying to say that, but
hey, folks, you heard it here. Shartimus Prime does not care about his subscribers. You can all
I know.
Come join Model Behaviour.
Yeah.
The ship is
sailing. Like, oh.
And it was at that moment Shartimus Prime realized he had f***ed up.
Yeah. And you gotta do the screenshot like like that's the up face, like no. Like,
years from now they'll be asking, so man, where did it all go wrong? Well, there was this who asked me to be on his live stream.
Yeah. Oh no, there's no. I have much bigger blunders than that one.
I look forward to making my own.
Yeah, it's fun, especially when the world's watching.
My basic rule is, if I ever have to pause and think, should I include that? Don't. Just don't.
Yeah, that's one thing I've been.
If you have to pause for a second, don't.
If I were to give one piece of advice, rewatch your own stuff. My worst mistakes, my worst blunders was me not rewatching stuff before posting and giving myself the chance to get that feeling of, should I post this or should I not? Because if you don't watch it first, you're not going to have that moment. So watch your own shit before you post it. They deserve it.
That's good advice to take with us going forward. Shartimus, thank you so much for being on the show. This has been just an absolute blast. I got so much more out of this than I was even expecting. This has been a real trip. So actually, just before we go, even though fair to say you got a slightly bigger platform, but I'm going to give you my platform as well. Anything you just want to say to the audience before we wrap this thing up?
Oh man, anybody that watches or anything, I want to say I appreciate it. Thank you very much, and thank you, Dave, for having me on this. I look forward to more episodes. I have some more reviews coming. Just like probably in about just a few minutes, I should have my review of the Excalibur 3-pack, the Marvel Legends Excalibur 3-pack. So finally, I've had that for months, and just know that if reviews come later than expected, it's not on purpose. I think I had paid extra for like 2 sets of waves of figures, and I reviewed them hella late. So I paid extra to get them early, just to review them late.
Because sometimes that's the way you play the game.
Yeah. That's the way it goes unintentionally sometimes. But yeah, just wanted to say I'm grateful for everybody that watches and everybody that participates in the collecting community and everything. So
that's awesome, dude. And I will say a proper goodbye to you shortly, because these little sign-off things are always awkward because we're cutting off, but we're not cutting off, but the show is cutting off. So for the show, I will say, Shartimus Prime, thank you so much for being on. Keep displaying moral behavior, and I'm sure I'll see you soon.
Catch you later. Peace.
And guys, that does it for the first episode of Favorite Things. I hope you enjoyed watching it. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed filming it, because that was an absolute pleasure to sit down and chat with a guy who I've been a big fan of for the longest time. And really, if it wasn't for getting inspired watching his videos, I don't think I would have made Model Behaviour. So, doff of the cap to Shartimus Prime. Thank you so much for coming onto the show, brother. It was an absolute pleasure. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this format, and I hope you enjoy some of the new stuff that we're going to be doing throughout the next year. 2022, I want to be a really big year for the channel, and I'm so grateful that you guys are coming along on the ride with me. So folks, enjoy the rest of your holiday season however you're spending it. Have fun, love, laughter, take care of yourselves and your loved ones and all the people around you. And until next time, keep displaying model behavior.